From the Media Innovation Center, it's the fall premiere of OWTV News. President Butts retiring. We look at his lasting legacy and the future for Old Westbury. What Truth Sounds Like. The First Year Experience Department welcomes prolific author and speaker Michael Eric Dyson. Deadly vaping. As e-cigarette use soars among college students, so do vaping-related deaths. Panther Pride roars. How Homecoming 2019 was epic fun for everyone. The new reality. Old Westbury builds its first virtual reality lab. New dining digs. The new marketplace brings new eats to campus. Goal! Old Westbury College soccer superstar Gixon Herrera's epic goal mixed to a national audience.
Good afternoon, and I'm Ibra Green, and welcome to OWTV News.
And I'm Reza Khan. We appreciate you joining us today. We start with some breaking national news. President Trump used a racially charged term to describe the House of Representatives' impeachment inquiry, calling the process a lynching today. Trump has repeatedly railed against the probe, calling it a witch hunt and a fraud, but this marks his first use of the term lynching, a term deeply intertwined with horrific racial violence in a dark era in the United States. Trump previously retweeted a statement during the 2016 election referring to his media treatment as a disgusting lynching in September 2015. Amber?
Funeral arrangements for Democratic Representative Elijah Cummings were announced and will be held on Wednesday, October 23rd. The congressman from Baltimore, the city he passionately loved, passed away at the age of 68 on Thursday, October 17th due to long-standing medical problems. Cummings was a prominent civil rights activist and served as chairman of the House Oversight and Reform Committee. Cummings will be remembered for his charismatic and honest approach to important national issues. Funeral and memorial services will be held in both Baltimore and Washington, D.C. He is survived by wife Maya and his 3 children. Raza?
Now, in a little business news, Netflix announced major earnings this week. Shares of the streaming giant skyrocketed after the company beat its quarterly expectations. Earlier this year, the company also shocked Wall Street when it reported that it gained 6.3 million new subscribers. Netflix addressed concerns about new streaming services, saying the competition must make massive short-term profits in order to keep up with the establishment. Amber?
New York City Council members continue voting on last week on a plan that involves closing down Rikers Island Correctional Facility and replacing it with smaller facilities within the boroughs. Advocates say the movement of the incarcerated closer to the city will promote more successful rehabilitation. However, opposed critics argue the use of borough-based jails doesn't answer major criminal justice reform issues, such as minorities being disproportionately represented within prison populations. Now for campus news. Tuesday, October 15th, the SUNY Old Westbury students held their 3rd protest on campus in response to the ongoing mold conditions in the dorms. There were about 50 students in the protest covered by News 12 and NBC4. Some students have complained of property damage and severe health complications connected to living with mold. College administrators, including President Butts, have made substantial efforts to fight the mold, including humidifiers, every floor, and inspections. Still, many residents say it's not enough. Raza?
Whenever our campus infrastructure is in need of reworking, SUNY Old Westbury's Office of Capital Planning is the department on the job. This fall, from October 9th to December 13th, there will be a major repavement of the Ring Road. The construction will run from the main entrance to Clark Athletic Center. The college is hoping to prepare for the road for icy road conditions that may be coming this winter. Detour signage will be in place and should make route alternatives as apparent as possible. The Vice President of Capital Planning, Ray Maggiore, said that the work is part of the ongoing replacements of outdated infrastructure on campus. Amber?
Old Westbury School of Business and the Forensic Accounting Master's Program launched the Justice for Fraud Victims project this fall. The initiative will focus on providing assistance to victims of financial fraud who had limited resources. The project will give Old Westbury students realistic practice in forensic accounting while also forming a fraud resistance unit with law enforcement. Raza?
This is Transfer Week, and the SUNY Old Westbury chapter of Tau Sigma wants you to join their National Honor Society for transfer students. The OW chapter of Tau Sigma was founded in spring 2016. The requirements to be a member of Tau Sigma is you must be a transfer student, achieve a 3.5 GPA or higher in your first semester at Old Westbury, at least 30 transfer credits or more need to be accepted by Old Westbury, and you need to be a full-time student your first year at Old Westbury. Amber?
There have been 20 freshman classes and 19 graduations while Dr. Calvin O. Butts has been president of SUNY College at Old Westbury. The 20th graduation will be his last, as Dr. Butts has decided to retire. We take a look at his career as president and what such a monumental change means for Old Westbury staff, faculty, and students. We have an extended report by Diana Pignatelli.
Dr. Calvin O. Butts is retiring in January 2020 after 20 years as president of SUNY College at Old Westbury. It's a move that President Butts has thought long and hard on.
It's about time to go. I think I've been here long enough. I think my work is completed, and I hope that the next person will do an even greater job than we have been able to do.
Dr. Butts has had a long and storied career. He remains pastor of historical Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem and a leading voice for civil rights. He admits his road to the presidency of Old Westbury wasn't a traditional one.
I've always wanted to teach, and so I applied to the state university, and I asked if they had visiting professorships. They got back to me and said they did. And then one Sunday, I received a visit from 3 of the trustees of the state university who asked if I wanted to be president. And I said, well, yes.
During his 2 decades at the school, Dr. Butts says he has tried to build a lasting legacy.
We built new dormitories, we built a new academic building, we built a student union, we built a new police headquarters, we have raised the standards, we have connections with SUNY Downstate in terms of physician assistants.
Dr. Shalay Sims, director of the School of Business graduate program, said Dr. Butts' influence has been so important to the college.
I admire him. I've known of his work for a long time. And he's definitely part of the reason why I came to Old Westbury.
Students recently learned of the president's upcoming retirement. One student had a touching message.
Thank you for everything that you've done for the university, and I wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Dr. Butts says Old Westbury is all about the students, and we have a unique student population.
But we have students here of all colors, all cultures. We're the most diverse campus in the SUNY system.
He also says creating the right tone at the school is very important.
I consider my greatest achievement during my time as president as creating a more civil atmosphere on our campus, greater trust between administration and faculty, and developing a more respectful and committed student body.
Distinguished Professor Dr. Laura Anker, Director of the First Year Experience, has known Dr. Butts his entire tenure.
I think that all of us feel very sad to lose him. I think I feel that his commitment to the mission has left us in a very good place. We have a very strong group of faculty.
The search for a new president is in the works. Both Dr. Sims and Dr. Anker are on the presidential search committee.
Quite an interesting task we have ahead of us.
My hope is that that the college will get a strong president, seek to maintain the diversity, and always put Old Westbury first.
I'm Diana Pignatelli for OWTV News.
What truth sounds like is a concept that our nation is struggling with now as a nation. That theme was further explored during the annual first-year program Common Reader Speaker event. The department sponsored a conversation with author Michael Eric Dyson, whose book was What Truth Sounds Like, was the mandatory reading for the entire 650-member freshman class. Reporter Brandon Johnson has the story.
On September 25th, the first-year department held its annual Common Reader Speaker event featuring prolific author, speaker, and professor Dr. Michael Eric Dyson for its conversation on his recent book, What Truth Sounds Like.
I must tell you that he is one of the most engaging speakers I've ever heard in my life.
His book explores the historic meeting in the early 1960s between Robert F. Kennedy, author James Baldwin, and other prominent black artists and activists.
So I wanted to look at that meeting as an example of what happens when even liberal concern about race meets black resistance, because they didn't want to be treated like trinkets They didn't want to be treated like tokens.
SUNY College at Old Westbury president, Dr. Calvin O. Butts, says having Dr. Dyson here on campus is very important.
By having Michael Eric Dyson here, we hope to encourage our students in their studies. We hope to show them what a learned man who is articulate can convey. And we hope to bring more attention to our campus.
But our president says there's much bigger issues at stake.
We're on the brink of losing our grip. This is a democratic experiment, and what we have to do is keep it strong.
The event began with first-year students who won an essay contest, able to enjoy a dinner with Dr. Dyson, have their books autographed, and take pictures. Later that evening, students, faculty, staff, and students from local high school gathered in the Clark Gymnasium to have a conversation about the themes in Dyson's book.
And so I'm honored tonight that you have read this book.
He addresses the issue of bearing witness in the book and how Baldwin and his elite friends were trying to explain the hard black existence of that day.
And Robert Kennedy tried to fight back. He said, look, I understand your position. My family is a family of immigrants. And James Baldwin says, see, that's the problem. You just got here and you got a president in the second generation. We've been here for 4 and 5 generations and can't even elect a dog catcher.
It was a memorable night looking at history. Many of the issues of race the book emphasizes, sadly, we are still dealing with today. From the Clark Athletic Center, I'm Brandon Johnson, OWTV News.
The news on serious health effects associated with vaping continues to grow, but so do the number of college students who vape. Reporter Julie Goldsmith takes a look at the issue and what our governor is doing about it.
This is Julie Goldsmith of OWTV News. My report today is on the growing number of college students addicted to e-cigs and the dangerous health risks associated with vaping. According to an article in the National Library of Medicine, an alarming 29% or 3.6 million college students vape.
I don't really believe any of what's going on in the media with, well, what specifically I vape, so I still kind of do it every once in a while. I like to do it. It relaxes me.
Christine Tesoriero, director of the Old Westbury Health Center, says it's no accident that the numbers are so high.
I think that it's been marketed to young adults and young, middle school and high school students as something kind of like hip and kind of cool to do.
And they'll just do it because it's cool. They see their friends doing it.
This increasing popularity has been linked to 33 deaths and nearly 1,500 vaping-related lung injuries nationwide, according to the CDC.
Vaping is dangerous for several reasons. First, at a minimum, it is addicting young people to nicotine at a very early age.
E-cig companies like Juul market flavors such as mango and fruit medley containing nicotine. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo announced an emergency ban on flavored e-cigs back in September.
I am in full agreement. And the reason why I am is if the FDA is not regulating what's being added in the juices or the oils.
Personally, I was a Juul smoker, but I stopped because of health issues while breathing and stuff. So I support all of the banning.
We do not know the long-term health effects of the use of this product. Why? Because there has been no long-term study.
Health officials are scrambling to find answers to the vaping crisis and recommend users just quit. This is Julie Goldsmith of OWTV News.
Every semester, our student population grows, and so does fun on campus. Reporter Derby Pierre-Louis shares with us the festive time students had at Panther Pride Homecoming 2019.
The beginning of every fall semester, students at Old West look forward to the annual Panther Pride Homecoming celebration, a week full of fall festive fun. The homecoming kickoff features games, treats, and music, all in effort to unify our school, unique staff, and student body. OWTV News caught up with some Panthers as they enjoyed the festivities.
I feel like it's a great opportunity to for staff and students to build and form relationships.
So far, I think just the school spirit aspect, like seeing everyone come out, really. I'm feeding off their energy, and it's just making me want to go out and have fun and interact with people.
So what do you guys think is the best thing about Panther Pride so far?
I mean, we're like a small college, so it's good to see everyone come together.
Okay.
I think as I said, people actually took a break from studying to come here.
Another highlight of the week was the annual chalk off outside of the NAB. Students and staff had a chance to awaken their inner Picasso. And then there was the cake off. Whether you're a cake master or just interested in eating some delicious cake, the cake off was one event that left attendees with their sweet tooth satisfied. Other fun events included a student-faculty softball game and our popular sip and paint. Panther Pride Homecoming 2019 was a success. Lots of memorable moments filled with fun and unity here at SUNY Old Westbury campus.
This is Derby Pierre-Louis reporting for OWTV.
There's a new reality on the campus of SUNY Old Westbury. That's virtual reality, and it's open to everyone. Jennifer Berkowitz has a story with additional reporting by Lucas Waldman.
SUNY College at Old Westbury has just leapt into the technology future. The IT department installed a new virtual reality lab in the new academic building for students to experience this new technology. Kyle Jinfeng Zhu is one of the technology architects behind designing the new lab. He thinks the lab has a lot to offer students.
The school wants the students to learn the future, how we are going to be involved the world or something. So they have a new experience of gaming, new experience of how to practicing their medical surgery, and also to go to a vacation without going there. You can see the things without going there.
Yes, one of the great possibilities with VR is that students studying medicine can get a unique hands-on experience.
When you put it to your head, it will go to a different world, a virtual reality world, and then you can play games and do medical surgeries with these two controllers.
VR, which is also known as immersive learning, is growing rapidly at college campuses. VR will be offered at 60% of colleges by 2021, making Old Westbury ahead of the curve. A great thing about VR is a student of one major can gain virtual reality experience in a different area of study, like Tino Tenda Michelle Bear, a public health major.
Which is kind of cool about the whole program, because there's different programs and apps that we can download, and different games or different experiences that we can kind of connect with every major. So say someone who's going to the sciences, for example, there's a whole bunch of dissection stuff, a whole bunch of anatomy and physiology stuff that they could do. Or someone who's an art major, there's apps where they take you in different museums. So it's kind of you have something for everybody.
Business student Jerry Dobladito says he uses VR to relax after a stressful week at school.
I've both played and used at the same time. One of them that I decided to do was a day on the beach. It's like I could just sit down in a regular household chair, and it's like I'm just gazing at the ocean, gazing at the sun, making an entire spin. And it just seems very real.
Currently, the IT department is just doing a test study with select students on campus, but hopes to have the new virtual reality lab open for all students later this semester. This is Jen from OWTV with the VR lab.
Now for a little lighter news, it's the latest in entertainment with Michael Odemina.
The Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, is suing a British tabloid under the Associated newspaper for their publication of a letter between her and her father, Thomas Markle. This is just another rift in the battle between Markle and the British tabloid's unruly conduct when concerning the royal family. According to the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, the legal action has been growing for months. Harry commented on the Mail's conduct regarding the letter, calling it unlawful and an attempt to mask the lies against his wife. Rapper Nicki Minaj released a video via Instagram suggesting she tied the knot with her boyfriend Kenneth Zoo Petty. In the video, 2 cups and 2 hats are laid about together, spelling out Mrs. Bride and Mr. Groom. In a recent interview, she stated she already had the marriage license and she's waiting for the pastor to ordain the ceremony. The rapper also noted she's still deciding on whether to have a big ceremony or a small one. Congrats to newlyweds. A recent study finds Bella Hadid, the world's most beautiful woman. The surgeon, Dr. Julian, ran the golden ratio of beautified test on the model, and she's received the highest score since its creation. It was created by a mathematician, Kendra Schmid, in 2009, who created the formula to calculate what people consider most attractive mathematically. Based on the study, the 23-year-old model, Hadid, follows Beyonce, Amber Heard, and Taylor Swift. Back to Rizza.
Thanks, Mike. Food, that's right, food. One of the biggest concerns for Old West students. Well, it seems like the folks in charge of dining services are trying to up their game. Reporter Harpreet Kaur has the story.
Over the summer break, the dining and food services at Old Westbury Student Union rebranded Mondo's Deli into the marketplace, providing a new atmosphere and new food options for students.
We decided to invest a couple of dollars in renovating this room, which was looking a little old, and putting in a piece that, it's basically what I'm saying is popular demand. Students wanted it, and we were able to provide it, so it worked out.
The Director of Food Services, Andrew A.J. Morgan, says the goal of the marketplace is to provide a fun, relaxing environment for students to grab a bite, study, and just hang out.
One of the bigger takeaways for students, I'm hoping, is that they don't have to leave campus to get something. We now have, cold medicine if you're not feeling good. We now have shampoo, so maybe you don't have to drive off to Target or Walmart or go home on the weekend to stock up. And, you can grab a couple of things here and have the pure convenience of it.
There have been some new additions to the menu which have the potential to make students excited.
Mondo's Deli had a boar's head meats and toasted sandwiches, which are still here on a modified build it your way menu. So you can choose your meats, choose your breads, choose your cheeses, and assemble your sandwich any way you'd like.
Morgan hopes that besides the new menu, the new look will also have students wanting to drop in.
This is my freshman year, so I don't really know what they did differently, but it looks nice so far.
Whenever I have the time, I'll definitely be eating here.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to chill.
So far, so good, but Morgan says they will always be looking to improve and students should always feel like they're part of the process.
This is Harpreet Kaur reporting from the marketplace, and this is OWTV News.
Old West's veteran sports reporter Marvin Argueta has the latest on campus and pro sports. Marvin?
Our men's soccer team continued their playoff push as they host Maritime College on Wednesday. The Panthers are currently 8th place in the Skyline Conference with 3 wins and 5 losses. Our Lady Panthers soccer team will be on the road against Maritime College. Our women's team currently have 8 wins and 8 losses, which is an improvement from last year where the team only had a total of 4 wins. Yesterday, our volleyball team lost to U.S. Merchant Marines Academy 3-0. The Lady Panthers currently have 7 wins and 10 losses this season. Good luck to all our Panthers team moving forward. Moving on to New York sports, the New York Giants lost to the Arizona Cardinals 27-21. The G-Man dropped to 2-5 this season as the New York Jets. They also lost on Monday Night Football to the reigning defending champions New England Patriots. In soccer, the New York Red Bulls season ended as well in the first round of the Eastern Conference against the Philadelphia Union 4-3. And finally, in the NBA, the season opener begins with the defending champions Toronto Raptors hosting the New Orleans Pelicans, following by the Battle of LA between Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, hosting LeBron James and the Lakers. Back to you, Amber.
Well, we're not done with sports as yet. Today we have a profile on an Old West soccer phenom, one who has been putting the college on the national stage. Marvin Argueta has a sports feature story.
Senior Grixon Morella is more than just a typical college athlete on SUNY Old Westbury's men's soccer team. This season, he's displaying individual greatness with a personal best stats that's getting recognized by ESPN.
Number 9, Division III college soccer, Yeshiva and Old Westbury. Westbury's Grixon Morera. And Old Westbury wins. Where do we find that?
It worked out perfectly, Everybody's still talking about it to this day.
Soccer, or what everybody in other countries call football, came to Morella naturally as he brought the love of it from his native country.
The love of playing soccer came from, I'll say my dad. It all started with my dad. And where I come from, I wasn't born here, I was born in El Salvador. So in El Salvador, it's all about soccer.
Soccer isn't the only reason the athletes come to SUNY College of Old Westbury. Grixon is an education major.
They offered my major. So after I graduated from high school, I took a break. I was working. I worked for two years. Then I was like, you know what? I have to go back to school. I always said I was gonna go back, and I did.
Morella this season has 6 goals and 3 assists, up from 2 goals and 1 assist all of last season.
I wanted to make sure that I was gonna show this year. I was gonna prove what I could do and that I'm a much better player than what I was last year.
Grixon Morella feels he's in an amazing journey at SUNY Old Westbury, but credit, most of it goes to his teammates and coach.
My teammates, I always tell them, I see them as family. I see them as my brothers, as my cousins, because I see them every day, I don't even see my family as much as I see them. And same thing with my coach, you know, I have learned a lot from him. I know he knows a lot about soccer.
Morella not only focused his game, but one player specifically influenced his play greatly this year.
Watching Ronaldinho, that's the first player I remember seeing him on the TV, you know. Ronaldinho. I remember one game he scored 3 goals in a Clásico against Real Madrid, and the whole stadium got up and clapped up for him. I was big.
Finally, Morella has a motto that defines his soccer career and his life.
To me, personally, I don't think, you know, oh yeah, I can't do that. Oh yeah, you can't do that. That's impossible. No, everything's possible.
I'm Marvin Reguetz, and thank you for tuning in, and tune in to OWTV News.
We have some interesting events coming up on the campus calendar. October 28th is the kickoff to SGA week. Don't forget to register to vote on Tuesday, October 29th in the campus center with SGA. The campus advisory board is hosting a Fright Fest trip to Six Flags on Halloween Day. November 1st is Voices of OW's Sing and Paint in the Student Union. November 4th, the Campus Activist Collective is having the Menstrual Product Drive. That's our news program for today. I'm Reza Khan.
I'm Amber Green, and from the entire OWTV team, good luck on midterms.